I had James and Nathan on earlier this week. I asked them the question. I'm sure this isn't a Brent 1420 Sports Bar original by any means, but I'm going to take credit for this one. I don't know if whoever listens to the show, if they want to audit this question. If I stole it from somebody else, well, screw you. Who cares? Anyways, I asked the boys, and I'm going to ask you. You got Connor Bedard playing going to be his last season in the Western Hockey League with the Regina Pats. Regina Pats were not a playoff team last year. They're going to be a better team this year, but they are not winning a championship. They're just not. If you okay, I'll ask you: is Connor Bedard going to finish this season as a member of the Regina Pats, or do they trade him for a package of players, knowing that he is gone in 8 months?
Will Connor Bedard be a Regina Pat at the end of the year? The answer to your question is yes. I don't think that they trade him. I genuinely think Regina's going to be a lot better hockey team this year. Obviously, when you have a player like Connor Bedard, that helps.
Yeah. I think can't hurt.
Yeah, I don't expect to think that he's a 70-70 guy. 70 goals, 70 assists. I really don't. I mean, you're talking about a kid who played the season last year, had a kind of a slow start, really.
Yeah.
Still finished the year with 50 goals and 100 points at 16, with a break for a very short World Junior. So I don't think that they trade him. I think he's going to be a guy that really draws. Well, he's going to draw for sure, but he's going to be the straw that stirs the drink there. But you look after that. I mean, Tanner Howe is a really good player. And he doesn't get the attention that he deserves, I don't think, for Regina. They're going to have to do a little bit of work, I think, on their defense, because they lose an overage defenseman from last year that played a lot to pro hockey and Reiter Evans. But they've got a really good goaltender in Matthew Keeper. And John Paddock is a wizard, both as a coach and as an executive. So I think there will be a lot of work done there. And I really don't. I mean, after Winnipeg's going to be the team to beat in the East Division. After that, I think it's wide open. Brandon, Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, like all those teams, it's going to be a dogfight, but I think it's wide open. So I don't think they trade him. Plus, when you really, Brent, when you think about it, like what that package would look like would be insane.
Because James thought he would be going to Kamloops because they're hosting, and I thought maybe that's a place you trade him out of the division. But what kind of draft capital do they have left? What kind of players would you have to give up? Because you already have a team that's you're building for Memorial Cup and everything else, and then to get you would have to get rid of some 16, 17-year-olds that are going to be there for a couple of years at least, in the hopes, and then whereas. Like the Quebec League is famous for doing that, unloading a superstar to a team. Whether I don't know how it works in that league, it's none of my business.
OHL too.
And the OHL does all of a sudden everybody plays for the London Knights somehow. Well, I think we know how, but we won't get into that on the air. But it would be a pretty big package to unload, especially when you're already out of a Memorial Cup situation. That's a tough one to think. James thought for sure he's going to Kamloops, but whatever.
Well, that's the question, right? I mean, does Kamloops have the assets? What is the package? I mean, if hypothetically we predict the Bedard trade, you immediately, in my mind, start with 3 first-round picks, and you build from there. And one of the obstacles in the Western Hockey League for the GMs is you can't trade signed 15 and 16-year-old players.
I didn't know that.
So that complicates things a little bit more in a deal like that. But again, I think Regina's going to be a lot better team than they were last year, and I don't think ultimately we'll get to a point where there is a Connor Bedard trade. You can play this back if it does happen, but
well, no, that you're the second vote. You went with Nathan. That's what Nathan said too. He didn't think it was going to happen, so he had 2 out of 3. I guess that's what we'll go with. He's not going to get dealt.